I'm forewarned meteorologist Kim Adams. First at 4, finally, exact track 40 radar is quiet. We'll talk about how long it will stay that way and a huge warm-up coming up.
All right. Also, first at 4, the clock is ticking toward another UAW strike deadline. We are monitoring the picket lines and the negotiations. And here's Paula.
So I just met a little boy, and he did not use the word marginalized, but everything he said told me that he feels that way in other places, but not here and not today. I'll show you why today is not just a walk in the park for a lot of youngins.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, in just about 20 hours, we could see more UAW workers walking off their jobs. Right now, the silence from the negotiations is deafening. On this 14th day of the strike, there's no word of any new offers or counteroffers from General Motors, Ford, or Stellantis. UAW President Shawn Fain has scheduled another video update tomorrow at 10 a.m., likely to name new strike targets if there's not significant progress in those talks. Now, you'll remember last time around, the UAW only went after GM and Stellantis, saying there had been progress with Ford, but that hasn't led to a deal. We will bring you Fain's comments live tomorrow morning over on Local 4 Plus with Christy McDonald. The former head of a state marijuana licensing board, who also once served as Michigan's House Speaker, is headed to prison. Within the last 30 minutes, a judge sentenced Rick Johnson to 56 months behind bars in a bribery case the prosecutor called utterly disgraceful. Johnson admits to taking $110,000 in bribes while serving on that licensing board and then using that money to pay for trips and prostitutes. 3 others have also been charged in connection to the case. 2 of them will be sentenced next month. Tomorrow is a key day in the case surrounding the Oxford High School shooter. Ethan Crumbley will find out if he can be sentenced to life in prison without parole. The teenager pled guilty to several charges, including 4 counts of first-degree murder, but a special hearing is required when prosecutors seek a life sentence for a minor. We followed that hearing back in August. The judge will announce his decision tomorrow. I recently spoke with Oakland County Prosecutor Kara McDonald, who talked about the importance of the case.
You can't state that belief and ignore the actual events of this case and try to pretend that we can just group this crime and this individual in the group of all the other juvenile lifers. You cannot.
You'll hear more of our conversation when you join us later for Local 4 News at 5:30. In your first forecast, we're hoping that rain is getting out of town. Enough's enough. Forewarned meteorologist Kim Adams standing by with an update. Hey, Kim.
Hey, well, finally this week we have an evening that is dry. There could be a sprinkle, but it would be a rare sight tonight. It's cooler than normal, though. Only 59 right now in Pontiac. It's 62 in Mount Clemens, low 60s in Ann Arbor, and 64 out at Metro Airport. That's a little bit cooler than it was yesterday by 4 degrees in Pontiac, 3 degrees in Mount Clemens. But tomorrow, finally, we warm up not only to our average high, but above it. We'll get a high of 72, and we are not done there. Take a look at this temperature trend as we get well into the upper 70s and even the 80s by next week.
All right. Thank you, Kim. President Joe Biden is talking about threats to our political system as he celebrates democracy and bipartisanship. He's in Arizona this afternoon to announce federal funding for a library honoring the late Senator John McCain, known for occasionally bucking his party to get things done. As the president runs for re-election, he's labeling what he calls the MAGA movement a threat to America's democratic institutions. He says former President Trump and some supporters are saying things that have never been said before.
We're pushing a notion the defeated former president expressed when he was in office and believes applies only to him. And this is a dangerous notion. This president is above the law, no limits on power. Trump says the Constitution gave him, quote, the right to do whatever he wants as president, end of quote. I've never heard a president say that in jest.
Biden made these comments less than an hour ago. We're watching for any reaction from Mr. Trump. House Republicans have launched their first formal impeachment hearing against President Biden. They're suspicious of Biden family business dealings, but haven't presented evidence yet of presidential misconduct. Today, Republicans called experts who don't have firsthand knowledge about the overseas business dealing of the president's son, Hunter. Instead, they reviewed some constitutional questions presented by the hearing. A professor from Georgetown University offered his perspective on things so far.
I do not believe that the current evidence would support articles of impeachment. That is something that an inquiry has to establish. But I also do believe that the House has passed the threshold for an impeachment inquiry.
Democrats have blasted the hearing, coming 2 days before a possible government shutdown, unless Congress passes that new spending plan. All right, let's talk about that shutdown on Capitol Hill that will affect millions of Americans if there's no deal by Saturday night. The House and Senate both working on spending bills, but there's no sign that they're working together. Kimberly Gill joins us now with the very latest on what's going down in D.C.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. The House and Senate must compromise at some point to get a deal done. But right now, each is working on bills likely to fail in the other chamber, and there are new signs of growing divisions among Republicans over in the House. CNN is reporting House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida have been arguing behind closed doors. It's a distraction McCarthy can't really afford, as hardline members of his party are refusing to budge and won't support short-term plans to keep government open. The Senate is working on a bipartisan bill to fund the government through November 17th, but that plan may not get passed before the weekend. And while Social Security payments will continue, many Americans, including members of the U.S. military, will feel the pinch when they don't get paid. The Republican leader in the Senate has this warning about a shutdown.
Shutting down the government is not like pressing pause. It's not an interlude that lets us pick up where we left off. It's an actively harmful proposition.
Speaker McCarthy is letting a small band of very extreme members override the views of everyone else. It's the tail wagging the dog. That's the crux of the entire shutdown message.
So, Karen, the deadline again is 12:01 a.m. on Sunday. We'll, of course, be monitoring the situation, and we'll have an update on Local 4 News at 5 and, of course, throughout the weekend, too.
All right. Thank you, Kim.
Sure thing.
Well, the American economy continues to surprise folks and the experts as well, as higher interest rates, they still haven't cooled things down. The newest report shows filings for unemployment benefits are up, but only slightly. The Labor Department reports 204,000 first-time claims this week. That's still the lowest number since January. Also, the government says the U.S. economy grew more than 2% from April through June, down slightly from the first quarter. It's all more evidence the Fed might be able to engineer a soft landing from high inflation without seeking into a recession. Lots of people will be taking a close look at that and seeing where things land in terms of those moneyed signs. Well, don't let the rain and the dreariness fool you, because it was the perfect day in Commerce Township for a group of kids treated to a day of adventure. Paula Tubman was there, saw firsthand what made today such a big adventure for these kids.
This is a place where a child is just a child. Any other place, this same child might be called special needs or on the spectrum. 12-year-old Jacob also knows other things that are said about him, sometimes even within earshot.
I don't do nothing wrong. I'm just like chilling, and then people start something with me.
But at the annual Autumn Outdoor Adventure Day in Commerce Township, there are no labels, just fun.
All right.
And wins. Oh, big wins.
I got him.
Got him. Oh, that's a monster. Good job.
I caught another one.
This chapter of the National Wild Turkey Federation, Beard and Spurs chapter, is a family legacy for the Potters. Patriarch Dan Potter started it 28 years ago.
We're obviously trying to get them into the game of hunting and fishing and promote it.
All right, yeah.
A lot of these kids may not have that opportunity.
And while this organization takes youngins into the wild all over the nation to experience the adventure of the outdoors, this particular chapter focuses on children who are often marginalized elsewhere, because here they won't be.
You did it! That was awesome!
Unfortunately, our kids are looked at differently. They're kids. They're no different than anybody else's kids. You know, let's give them those same opportunities.
Avery will even tell you she saw a fish because the experience is brought to her in such a way that in her mind's eye, in this moment, she has every ability of a child with perfect eyesight.
Cooperating all day. Don't let us down.
Children who've never slung a slingshot become experts in how to use the tools safely and successfully.
Never done it in my life.
How did you get so good so fast?
I don't know, just believe in yourself.
If you weren't outside doing stuff, what would you be doing?
Just sit at home, playing my Xbox and stuff.
His name is Chubbs.
Animal conservation is taught, and darn it, well, the place is just darn fun.
Thinking about our mom and dad. Mom just passed, and my mom is actually the one that got my dad hunting.
Because here, away from out there, children are winners.
Don't ever believe someone who's rude to you. Ever believe your heart. Always believe in it.
Yeah, the words of a child and that emotion displayed by David, it just shows the gravity and importance of taking that torch and carrying it from the parents. You know what, we saw kids in wheelchairs and with canes. They weren't necessarily sighted, but here in all of this beauty and with all of this ability, all of that other stuff just really melted away.
Gosh, it really did. I love the outdoors there, Paula. The leaves are changing. You can see that peace that can hopefully help those kids. Great story. Thanks.